So on the channel, we have a very popular recurring segment called Daily Biden Gaffes, where we highlight what Joe Biden is saying in the media, and we call attention to how stupid it is. Now, we hope that by showing these little vignettes, we can show definitively that there is clear evidence of mental decline. Joe Biden has stripped away all of the production value from his videos. It's just him in his basement with a set of notes and a camera in front of him, being fed softball questions. It really shouldn't be as hard as it looks, but Joe Biden's having a really hard time. So we have that recurring segment. We're going to keep doing that, highlighting the raw video of all the problems Joe Biden's having. But I wanted to string these together in like a compilation video. Maybe we'll do this once a week just to show that these aren't one-offs. These are actually connected. This is actually evidence of serious mental decline. So we're going to start with this one. This clip is, I can only describe this clip as gibberish. Right? This is Joe Biden on MSNBC. He has notes in front of him, and it's complete gibberish. I've listened to this probably 10 times already. I have no idea what he's trying to say. Let's listen.
Those numbers, we have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, the whole idea is he's got to get in place things that were shortages of.
Okay, so did you understand what Joe Biden was just saying? Because I have no idea what he just said. Let's listen to it again.
Avoid those very high numbers, we have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to
He's reading off of notes.
Wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, the whole idea is he's got to get in place things that were shortages of.
So I have no idea what he's trying to say. He's not well. I think we can all agree that when you're in your basement of your home with a pile of notes in front of you being fed softball questions, it shouldn't be this hard. So let's go to another clip, a little bit more recent. This is where Joe Biden basically was giving his three steps for fighting the coronavirus, but he forgets step 3. Let's take a listen.
Says we have to do 3 things quickly. One, get more tests out there to find out who has the coronavirus. You had Vice President Pence saying several weeks ago there'll be 4 million tests out there. We're nowhere near that now. In addition to that, we have to make sure that we're able to follow, like they did in South Korea, which brought down the numbers, follow those who are infected, who they had spoken to, who had they not spoken to, who they had come in contact with, so we can track it back down so it doesn't re-erupt. And but you notice most of the states are moving in that direction now, Tennessee and others did today. And I think that's going to be where we're going to end up.
We'll come back to your point about this.
So that's Joe Biden forgetting part 3 of his own program. And obviously the other things he is recommending are already what Trump has been doing. A lot of what Joe Biden's been saying lately has just been parroting what Donald Trump has already recommended. Let's go to this one. This is a perfect example of that. Joe Biden is recommending that the government partner with technology companies to use supercomputers to try and decode the virus and advance the efforts to have a cure and to have different prophylactic treatments. The problem is that Joe Biden is recommending this after the Trump administration has already announced a partnership with, I believe it was IBM, days prior. Let's listen to this.
Let the scientists have sway. Let them move. Let's use supercomputing. Let's use the capacities that Bill Gates talked about. And it would be worth every single penny that was spent. I mean, it seemed to me it was a no-brainer.
Yeah, so what Joe Biden's saying is true. The government should be doing it, which is why the Trump administration is doing it. Everything he's been suggesting, the Trump administration has already started putting into effect. It's actually getting really sad seeing Joe Biden recommending the very things that the Trump administration is doing. Here, let's go to this is another example of Joe Biden having a hard time forgetting what he's trying to say.
I put it slightly differently. What is his responsibility, and what if there was allocating responsibility is I'll let history do that. But it's clear that a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of people talked about.
Is this a joke? This man is the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. How angry do you have to be if you're Bernie Sanders, right? How angry do you have to be to see that this is the man? Let's watch that one more time.
I put it slightly differently. What is his responsibility, and what if there wasn't allocating responsibility is I'll let history do that. But it's clear that a lot of people, not just me, but a lot of people talked about.
Yeah, this is there was a funny meme going around that Joe Biden is like your grandmother's internet browser. There's 17 tabs open. He has no idea what's going on and can't find the music that's playing, right? I thought that was so spot on. Trump said in an interview earlier this week that if Joe Biden was in charge of this crisis, he would have no idea what's going on. This is more and more evidence of that. Here's a clip of Joe Biden claiming that the Trump administration is failing because there aren't testing centers set up in front of CVCs. He meant to say CVS, but he called it CVC.
Well, the president said that a couple weeks ago that every CVC and other, he named 4 outlets, were going to have testing sites outside of their stores and the various places that they exist.
So there you have it. It's CVC. Trump's success is whether or not there's testing in front of CVCs. I was talking to some family members lately, and one of the things I keep hearing from them is one of the early signs of dementia is people grasping for a word and a different word coming out. Or they can't find the word and they just go with, oh, you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about, which we hear Joe Biden do all the time. Listen, I'm not a doctor, but I've had family members who suffered from dementia, and they exhibited a lot of the same signs that Joe Biden is exhibiting. Grasping for the word, can't quite find it, tries to insert a filler word that makes no sense whatsoever, and when they end up getting completely overwhelmed by it, they get angry at someone for calling them out, or they just say, oh, you know what I'm talking about. It's sad. It's sad. We make fun of Joe Biden because it's very easy to make fun of someone like this, but it is getting sad. It is borderline elder abuse at this point for the Democratic Party to make him their standard bearer. And again, how angry do you have to be if you're Bernie Sanders right now, seeing this guy completely tanking on national TV, doing these horrible interviews from his basement. So now we're going to go to another thing, another kind of mistake that Joe Biden's been making lately. It's pretty funny. The media claims that you're racist if you call it the Wuhan virus. Joe Biden has actually started doing that too, but he doesn't know the word Wuhan, and he's inserting instead the word Luhan. This is another clip. This is Joe Biden calling it the Luhan virus. Pretty funny.
And our Secretary of State insisted, and this broke the meeting up basically in terms of her influence, that this be called the Luhan virus.
Yeah, so he's accusing Republicans of being racist for calling it the Wuhan virus, but he can't even get the word out himself. He calls it the Luhan virus. And here he is again, later on in the week, making that same mistake, saying that the virus came from Luhan province.
And when it all started in Luhan province, and what happened? We did.
It's Luhan province. It's funny. We make fun of Joe. These are the worst of the worst gaffes that he's made this week during his little basement interviews. It's funny. But this man can't be president, right? Joe Rogan was saying on his podcast the other day that if Democrats make this guy president, Trump will eat him alive. And that's absolutely correct. Trump is going out there for 2.5, 3 hours a day and giving press conferences off the cuff, giving answers, deferring to the experts when he needs to, but giving the answers himself and going up against tough questions. Here's Joe Biden in his basement in front of his bookshelf with a camera and notes in front of him, and he can't even get his act together. Right? Trump is absolutely right. If Joe Biden was at the helm right now, he'd have no idea what's going on. It's funny because these are very stupid things to say, and Joe Biden is supposed to be a more experienced politician than this, but it's also very sad to think he's about to become the Democratic nominee, and he actually has a chance at ruling the country, at governing over all of us. It's absolutely terrifying. So please leave a like if you like this video. We're going to put more of these out, more of these kind of compilation videos. And please make sure that you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell for notifications. And let us know what you thought of these. Which one of these do you think was the worst Joe Biden gaffe? Let us know in the comment section below. We read every comment, and we will respond to them as we see them come in.